I feel that in his thoughts, in his mind, your connection has a potential for future. He sees within you certain qualities I'm hearing that maybe he always imagined or dreamed about in a partner, in a woman. And it's like he feels, some part of his soul feels that this is it, that it has potential for future, for long-term plans, but he's not ready to surrender to it. Because we have this, like, he in the physical, in his mind, we're doing his mind right, remember? So he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what kind of plans could he make. There may be, watch the previous part, right? So it makes sense. There may be certain things in his life that right now, it's not just his lack of maturity, that is definitely a case here as well, because he's wounded. And there's a distortion in his masculine energy. But it's not just that. I feel like there may be things in his life. We said that he's immature. Maybe he's actually also young. Maybe he's actually also young, and maybe he just doesn't really, we always say this, maturity, we do have maturity of our soul, right? If we're an old soul, there's always something within us that has the wisdom, that has the remembrance, right? No matter how in denial and distorted we are. But the wisdom of a soul, it's not going to do you much good. And if this lifetime, you're not going to go through certain things and triggers to release that maturity of a soul. So you cannot force someone to mature. It's just like with children. You're going to say to them, don't touch that, it's fire. And they're going to be like, ah, because they have to learn on their own. You cannot convince people. It's an issue when someone is not mature. The more we mature, the more we actually want to listen to people who are older, who are wiser, who know better in a specific field. When we're not mature, we think we know it all and we know it best. And you're not going to convince a person who is in that mindset. So I feel like right now, it's like in his heart, we're going to see his heart in a moment, right? But in his mind right now, he doesn't know what to do with you. And there's two words. This is why this collective, you gotta chill. Watch the previous part, because we have patience 2 times. What he's thinking is that he wants patience. He needs time. Seeds are being planted. He's not gonna give you anything right now. I can tell you right now. We don't have to do heart and intentions. We're gonna do it. But right now, he's not gonna be able to offer you anything tangible. And because you are forcing, you're pressuring, he can sense your impatience. It's only going to scare him more. Wheel of Fortune. I'm hearing 2 things with this. My ears are blocked. I hate when that happens. It's really annoying. What? Hold on. I can take these 2. Yeah, and another card, Knight of Swords in reverse, another card of just not knowing what to do, not knowing the way forward, not knowing what to say, not knowing how to react. King of Swords in reverse as well. I'm hearing with this one that he may also have this defense mechanism. So the more you pressure, right, the more you are offering things, the more you are chasing. And again, 4 of coins at the bottom of the deck. There's something with this person finances that you're not seeing, not knowing completely. Maybe you have intuitive thoughts, right? But I feel like there's something that you're not completely understanding, how big of an issue or big of a blocker it may be for him. It's not just his current financial, situation, but also the mindset that he has around finances. That's what I'm hearing. But he may have a defense mechanism that the more you pressure, the more you push, because he's immature, right? He's not going to be able to sit down with you and have a conversation and really honestly say what I'm saying to you, right? Which is, I have those feelings for you. I feel like this is something destined. This is something beautiful. But right now I'm in this life situation when I'm not ready to open. It's like he wants it, but he doesn't. It's like, right? So I feel that he may have this defense mechanism that when you're pushing for vulnerability to open the heart, right? Remember what I said in previous part? He closes it more. So he may become very cold, very distant. I wouldn't be surprised if this person had the very horrible toxic trait of silent treatment. Silent treatment. It's mental abuse, you guys, to do this to another person. Stop talking to you. Stop talking for like weeks or whatever, because I don't know what to say, so I don't have the maturity to ask you to give me a little bit of space. I feel like the hot and cold and... Hold on. That's confirmation. That's Queen of Coins in reverse. I'm hearing two things because that's on top of that Seven of Coins, remember? I'm hearing two things with this. One is that however he sees you, right? Whatever that is, it can be the difference between your finances, maybe your background, right? However he sees you from a logical perspective, mind perspective, he wouldn't see you as a fit for him, right? So you may be someone that you're, I don't know why I just thought upper class, which is ridiculous, but we have to face it. The stupid society that we live in is very classist, right? So I feel like he feels that you're this uptown girl, right? That maybe you're better financially, maybe you had different background, maybe you had access to, different kinds of education, different kind of life as well. Even if it makes no sense to you, because it usually doesn't. Usually feminists in that kind of setting, we usually don't even think about this. Like, what the hell are you talking about? We wouldn't even consider that, but he feels that because it's his insecurities. So I don't think this masculine, it probably is just a surprise that you met. He probably is not someone who would be looking for any kind of relationship anytime soon. He would probably want to focus on, we have a lot of wands and we have a lot of coins. So his life, his development, right? Maybe some sort of education as well. And you popped up out of nowhere. And it's like the signs and synchronicities and the energy between the two of you guys. And it's like he's thinking the universe is just being cruel. It's just being cruel. He would probably think that you're the right person, but not the right time, and he doesn't know what to do with you. And another thing that I was hearing, because Queen of Coins, she's the card of like really from the inside, really feeling when she's not in reverse, when she's up front, that you're very confident, right? That you're very independent, very self-secure, you feel your value as a person, but it's in reverse. And I feel that that's his energy. That right now, maybe he's so focused on his work, on his money, on his finances. Maybe he's still in school or he's still doing certain courses. You may not even know this. It's like he would be thinking it's not a time for a relationship. Why is this happening? Be careful with that coldness and that, right? It's a defense mechanism, and when we're healed, we understand that. But it's a very painful one when someone, does these things to us. And with the Wheel of Fortune, what I was hearing, remember I said that I was hearing two things. I feel like there's a reason I said victim of fate versus master of destiny. He would think that there is something destined in it. But our masculines, they believe in destiny. They believe that we're some sort of a soul connection. That sometimes they even believe that we were sent to them from heavens. But because they're stuck in this, a lack of worth and that lack mentality, they think that universe is just being cruel, sending me a woman that to me is perfection, but I'm never going to be able to be with her. Maybe it's just a karmic lesson. He may be thinking not necessarily that you are a karmic, but that for all the things maybe that he thinks in his head that he's done, some sort of a karma, cruel karma, that there's this woman, but he doesn't feel like you could be together right now. All right, let's do his heart. Let's do his heart. I want to do the same deck, but I want to pull a couple of these. And then we're going to do this intention and where he's at on this journey. His heart. No, I don't want these. Hold on. No. I wanted the loved ones. Because we're doing hearts. Hold on. Patience that you not have. Four cards. We're gonna do 4. All right. We have 4 cards. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was hearing actually with this code. Okay, so the first card is make the effort. Make the effort. What I was hearing with this make the effort, to be honest, you guys, I was hearing that in his heart, he would feel that your relationship, your connection, it is worth the effort. He would think that you have to make an effort. He's stupid. He knows, right? That for true love, you have to make an effort. But I don't think that he's ready to make that effort at this point of his life. We have worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And I'm going to say to you something that we actually we should learn from our masculines, right? So in divine love, in divine connection, in true divine connections, right? True twinnies. When we meet each other, we get activated. We both get activated, but we go through our awakening. The veil is lifted. We get into complete activation. The wounds are coming to the surface. So we're in longing. We're obsessing. We want it. We want it now. Patience is the last word in our dictionary, right? Because we believe that if it's destined, because we're goddesses of love, right? It's destined. So nothing can stand in between us and destiny. What are you talking about, dude? What money? What distance? What ex-girlfriends? It's destined. We should be together now. Because we also don't understand the true meaning of this connection, the true purpose of this connection, that mission that comes with this connection, right? And oftentimes, they believe in destiny as well. They believe this is us, but because they're distorted and because they're stuck in a victim of fate mentality, instead of realizing, like we realize soon, that you are master of your destiny. So in order to attract your highest timeline, you have to work on yourself. You have to heal. You have to release your shadows. So they think to themselves, and he may be thinking that this woman is worth the effort and she's worth waiting for. Maybe one day we will be brought back together. But now I don't see how this could happen. So they oftentimes, they believe, sometimes they even dream about this, that maybe we will see each other in like 5 years or 10 years and we're just going to surrender. That's usually how the masculines think. And often feminists ask me, how is it that they stay in separation for so long? And in the first place, it requires a lot of strength on their end, but it's also the veil and it's also the lack of self-esteem, right? That they just don't believe that it could happen. But oftentimes, it's this glass wall that I always tell you guys about. It's like they dream about us. They dream that in 5 years, in 10 years, they're probably thinking, I'm going to be better financially. I'm going to have this, all these great jobs and opportunities. And we're just going to bump on each other in a coffee shop. It's like, oh my God, how have you been? I've been missing you. And I'm going to jump into each other's arms. And that's where we're going to start the connection. What they don't understand, that this will never happen. We are being brought to our masculines on a silver platter as we meet and as we get activated. It is always, for true twinnies, it is always a serendipitous moment. We are exactly at the place, and we're usually not meant to be in this place. So we're dragged to like a random concert or a bar or a place that we would normally go to, and for them it happens same. It is very divinely orchestrated, very serendipitous, very unplanned, right? Very divinely protected, guided. And we being served to them on a silver platter. And what they don't, so they think and they believe that if it's destined, the same thing will happen in 5 or 10 years when they're ready. And this is how they maintain themselves at the other side of that glass wall, because they think, I cannot do anything about it, but if it's destined, life will send her to me just like they did in the beginning when the time is right. But they don't understand divine timing, so they don't understand the universe only once serves us on that silver platter. And when they're ready to close the separation, close the no contact and actually reach out to us, it has to be them, because it's a proof of their masculinity. They are the masters of this world. Destiny will not do that for them for the second time. Universe will not do that for them for the second time. And true masculine, when he's ready, when he goes through his satori, he knows this, right? So right now he thinks that this is worth waiting for, but this is all in a sense of, if it's meant to be, it will happen. It will happen. And in the meantime, I'm going to live my life. This is why they don't struggle with that impatience as we do, right? And the next two cards that he has codependency. The moment I saw this card, I was thinking that he may have experience with codependency. And the second one that we have is release your ex. So I think this masculine may have some past and some concerns. Maybe he has been in relationships that were codependent, and you're not helping yourself with that pressure and impatience, because they feel like he would feel like you want to take away his freedom, because he doesn't know that you do it because you're just so crazy in love, right? So he may have past experience with some exes that were actually, I'm hearing energy vampire, that were actually draining his energy, that were very manipulative. There's a reason we mentioned, I think it was in previous part, the true divine woman doesn't guide a man in that sense. She doesn't tell him, she guides him, but he doesn't tell him what to do. So maybe he has experience with women who would, like, even without him knowing, who would be very manipulative. It often happens, I find, for the masculines, that they faced with very distorted women, and then it's hard for them to believe that we're different, that there's certain things that we would never do, especially because when we meet, we're wounded, and we start doing things towards them that we wouldn't even do with any other man, because we're so obsessed and we're so impatient, right? But I feel he may be worried. I feel he may be associating. There's a wounding in his heart. We're doing his heart. I feel he hasn't fully released the ex. Maybe not in a sense that he's still in touch with, I'm not feeling that, but I feel that there was an ex in his life that caused him a lot of pain, and he never processed this pain. He never healed his heart. People tend to do that. They just move forth instead of properly healing, right? We talk about this all the time. So I feel he never stopped to really consider, and now it's causing a lot of fear when it comes to commitment, because he associates commitment with chains, with codependency. How does he feel in his heart? Nine of Swords, you guys. Winter solstice. A year or more. He may be thinking this to himself, to be honest. He had, in the same position, he had the same cards. The card of, not the same, but the card of timing. There's something about timing. He may be thinking to himself that for the next year, he's not going to be able, 808 on a timer, not going to be able to offer you anything. To be honest, I don't think a year is going to be enough, but I don't like to say this, but this collective, you're not going to believe me anyway. It's impatience. The sound of 1 year probably puts you in a lot of distress. Tie up loose ends. He may be thinking that. I feel right now he has still a lot of unresolved issues. It's like, it's with this effort, right? So he knows a relationship requires effort. And even though he feels that you are worth the effort and you are worth the wait, he would be thinking to himself, if it's really destined, it means that you're going to be worth the wait. Not waiting in a sense, wait for me. I feel like he more feels that you're going to be just like, around in the friend zone. That's why he keeps you in the friend zone a little bit with that coffee and everything, right? Until he's ready. And if it's really destined that it's going to happen, but he's not understanding, what's going on here. But I think he has a lot of baggage, regret, a lot of unresolved issues, not just in physical life, but in his emotional life. Whether that's conscious or not, the devil. Strings attached. That's on top of this X, you guys. There may be certain strings still. We're going to confirm. It may be on the level of energetic cords. There's a reason I mentioned energy vampire. You know how I always say to you guys, if you really want to close a past relationship, you have to close the karmic contract properly. Breaking up with someone and moving away, it's not enough. You really have to learn your lessons, close the karmic contract, close the contract, dissolve the cords properly. So if that's not done, you may not have seen your ex for freaking years. They may still be draining your energy. Because I always say this to you guys, when we exchange energy on a sacral level, so when we have intimacy with someone, we exchange our traumas. We exchange energy. We create very strong cords. And if they're not properly closed and dissolved, people hold on to these cords for lifetimes. Lifetimes. You wouldn't believe that. People think I haven't seen him for 5 years, but you can be connected to this man till the end of your days. And more lifetimes. There's some sort of energetic attachment here, I feel. 4 of coins. Here it is. We were having it so many times. Maybe what I'm hearing as well, because it's on top of that codependency, we have devil and 4 of coins with that ex. To be honest, he may be tied to this person still financially. So maybe I'm hearing that maybe this person took a loan for his name, or they owed them money, or they blocked him for some sort of things. Maybe they took some sort of a loan or a credit that he has to pay, and because of that he cannot make certain plans. Or like I'm hearing student loan as well. Maybe he's not able to pay certain things for his own education or for his own development or business. I'm hearing as well. I feel it may have also been that this person was not only codependent from him, like creating this emotional codependency, but maybe this woman was very codependent when it comes to money, and he fears that, you know, this person would think that true commitment is problematic, is very problematic, which can be if you're with your karmic, right? And I also feel that he has a very unhealthy approach when it comes to relationship, love, and finances. So he may feel like he wants to be the provider, but he doesn't want to be taken advantage of, but he doesn't also want to be, it's like, I don't know how to explain this to you. He would probably feel very intimidated whenever you would offer to pay for something, and he would feel like less of a man. But in the same time, I feel like he would not want to have a woman be with him just for money and have those expectations, buy me this and buy me that. And it might have been a case. So because he's wounded, because there's a wounding around abundance and about love, he doesn't know how to know which one is it. Which one is it? Let's do another row. What? 5 of Wands, that's on top of that 9 of Swords. To be honest, I feel like this person, you wouldn't even know the half of it. You wouldn't even know how much his life is a mess. And I'm going to tell you one thing. We're doing his heart, right? Remember, we're doing his heart. So right now, there it is. It's this patience again. It's this patience. He can feel your impatience in his gut, in his intuition, in your energy. He can feel your impatience. You gotta quit. You gotta chill. Okay? He knows you're worth the effort. He knows you're worth the wait. He knows you could be the one for future, for making plans, but it's not gonna happen now. You guys, we're doing his heart, and all that it is in his heart is chaos, confusion, emotional baggage, attachment to his ex. His heart is not ready to love. His heart is not healed. 8 of coins Knight of coins in reverse. He can feel your impatience. And in his head, in his heart, he's feeling minimum of a year, I'm not going to be able to offer anything. And she's already forcing and knocking on my door. And here you go, another card of codependency. He's afraid to be forced into situation. Men don't understand, wounded men don't understand that it often happens in these connections because they have the past connections, past experience with distorted women, when they probably fell in love and they listened to their heart and they were wounded. They were stuck in codependency and this devil energy, right? And now they don't want to listen to their heart anymore. Their heart is closed. They want to listen to their mind. Let's see what's with this devil. I'm really curious here. Sorry. It's just a sweater. The source spirit doesn't want to tell us what's with this devil. Yeah, you guys. You guys. Definitely a heavy karmic that influenced his life, his approach to life. Something very important that he has not released. And I don't think it's in the physical, right? It may be, I want one more just to confirm. I don't think it's in the physical, to be honest. I just think it had such an impact on him that he still has energetic cords towards this person. Maximum, I think that they may follow each other on social media or, you know, like have friends in common. Maybe their families know each other, but I don't think he would be seeing this person like in a real life. But there are very strong cords. I think this may be a person that really, obviously avoidant attachment style is formed in childhood, and it's usually in 99% it's a consequence of what we develop from taking from our parents, how our parents taught us to connect to other people. But sometimes some people have such a strong, in young age, connection to someone that really enhances that, and I feel like this person really strengthened his avoidance. I feel he feels foolish. I feel this was one of these connections that he listened to his heart, that he really jumped into it, that I feel like it went from 0 to 100. And one day he just woke up in a situation that he didn't know how to leave. There are strings financially, emotionally, manipulation. I'm hearing obsession maybe as well. This is why he's so fearful of this obsession and impatience that he's feeling from you. I think he does want to take things slow. He's wounded, so he doesn't know how to communicate. He's confused, right? But I feel like even if he was more healed, he would still want to take things slow because he hasn't closed this lesson with this past person. I'm also hearing blames, and so maybe when they exited this relationship, he had to take the blame. That he broke her heart, you know, and this and that, and he left her. I don't know. I'm just hearing like it wasn't properly closed, you guys. I feel like he listened to his heart and he got hurt, and he's not understanding that it wasn't the bad thing that he listened to his heart. It's just that he was still maybe immature and wounded, and he didn't see the red flags. I feel like this person may have, I don't know why I'm hearing Aries. Ugh, bless your soul if this woman was an Aries in her shadow. I always say this, Aries, Taurus in their shadow, the worst. And it's actually a Taurus card here. So maybe they were an Aries or a Taurus. But I'm hearing that they were this person connected to them, their ex-partner, very authoritarian. I feel like one of these women that like really lures you in, but she makes you feel nothing but a man. Nothing but a man. Very bossy, very, I'll tell you what to do. There's a reason we were talking about this in part 1. How women cannot tell men what to do. Remember? Maybe I'm hearing she was even forcing him for marriage. I feel there was a lot of pressure. I feel there was a lot of forcing energy, a lot of impatience, a lot of entitlement. And it all created a fear within him. To be